So wait, you can say yes to everything? Exactly. I wasn't open to stuff, and now I am. Things are changing for me.
Yo, Carl, hitting the clubs, got a case of Red Bull, gonna pull an all-nighter. You down?
Someone invites you out to a party. Are you more likely to say yes or no? That one word can change a whole bunch. It could change how your night goes. It could change how your weekend went. It could change how your weekend overall went, or even your entire year, depending on the situation. Now, today we're going to be discussing a movie called Yes Man, which stars Jim Carrey as Carl Allen. Now, Carl Allen is an introvert. He prefers to say no to most things. He doesn't like to go to parties. He doesn't want to go to the bar. He likes to stay inside and watch a movie by himself. He doesn't really prefer to do anything with anybody as it makes him uncomfortable. However, as he continues throughout his normal life, he's got a couple of friends that still are friends with him despite him being an introvert. But after one of his friends gets engaged, Carl misses the engagement party. And his friend comes to him and basically lays it on him and says, if you don't make some changes and actually start hanging out with us and making some sacrifices, then you're not going to have any friends anymore. So Carl realizes that he needs to change, but he doesn't know exactly how he's going to do that. After getting some advice from a man off the street, he attends a seminar that basically tells him, say yes to everything. It doesn't matter what people ask you to do. Whenever an opportunity presents itself, just say yes. And that's going to make your life a little bit more adventurous, and it's going to change your life forever. Granted, it does. It is pretty funny some of the ways that just saying yes can change things, like, will you be willing to jump off a cliff? Do you have to say yes to that? According to this covenant that Carl makes, he's got to say yes to everything, and it's really interesting to watch this film and see what he says yes to, and if he can avoid saying yes, or if he's just going to have to stick to his covenant.
I want to take guitar lessons. I do want to learn how to fly. Yes, I would like to learn Korean.
So we're going to jump right into our content review real quick, and then we'll go into my thoughts. So here are my ripe apples for the film. Carl Allen, he realizes that he's really been an introvert and he's been selfish at a point in the film. So he tries to do better. He wants to make it up to his friend that he missed the engagement party. So he decides he's going to help throw the bridal shower. Even though that is part of his whole yes covenant thing, he also does take it very sincerely, as he wants to make sure that his friend's fiance really gets a good bridal shower. If you look at Carl's friends, even though Carl's a real jerk to them at times, and they are to him too, don't get me wrong, they still are there for him when he needs them. So that is always really great to see some friendship. That's all the real ripe apples I really saw for this. We do see a little bit of Carl learning how to talk to another woman and basically apologizing for lying to her, because he does do a little bit of not telling the whole truth. Doesn't necessarily lie, but he doesn't tell the whole truth to somebody, so he apologizes for that. But if we move into Rotten Apples, there's a lot to unpack here, so I'm going to try to give you guys a brief synopsis of the Rotten Apples in here, and if you need any more information, check out my page at appletreemovies.com. You guys will not regret that. So if you look over the violent content, there's not that much in here, which is really great. There's like a fist fight in one scene, and we see a few movies that Carl is watching where there's some violence depicted, but we really don't see much of it on screen. One man tries to commit suicide by jumping off of a building, but he doesn't go through with it, as Carl is able to prevent him from doing so. You move over to sexual content. The sexual content in this film is pretty prominent. Almost deserves an R rating for this alone. With Carl saying yes to everything, you knew they were going to throw a couple of sexual jokes in here. It comes with the territory, I guess. Carl's neighbor wants to help Carl in a sexual way as a favor after Carl helped her with something, and it's pretty disgusting. We see a couple of kisses, as well as we see a couple of backsides. In one scene, we see an entire room full of naked people. We don't see any frontal nudity, but we do see a lot of backsides. So that is a lot comparative to other films that you may want to watch. Definitely not family friendly at all. If you move over to drug and alcohol content, there is a couple of scenes in a bar. Carl gets really drunk in one scene. Once on alcohol, another time on Red Bulls, where he gets really highly energetic. So there's definitely its fair share in here of different drug and alcohol references. If you move over to language, the language in here was not meant for a PG-13 movie. In my opinion, the language alone deserves the R rating that it really should have received. There are 3 F-bombs, which I thought was not allowed in a PG-13 movie, so that alone surprised me. There's also 4 uses of Christ's name in vain, and 5 of Jesus is misused, as well as up to 5 S-words. And that's just naming a few of the language. There's a lot more in here, and I recommend you check out my webpage to see the full list, but it's just crazy how much that they can fit in here to the point where it's not safe for anybody under 18 years old. I really recommend that if you're going to watch this film, you should be 18 or above. And that's just my opinion, but I really strongly suggest that. We're going to move over to my review now, so we're going to have some spoilers here. If you have not seen the film already and you want to see it, I would pause here and come back once you've watched it.
I never had a Red Bull before, but I had a Red Bull last night, and I really like Red Bull.
Yeah, you seem a little hyper.
Hey, after we chat, we should go to Red Bull.
Okay, that'd be really
Red Bull.
fun. That sounds
Red
like...
Red
I
Bull.
think I'd really...
Alrighty, so after watching this film, I thought there were some great laughs. I really like watching Carl have to say yes to everything. Some of the things were ridiculous, and he continued to do it. Like his boss tells him, jump off the bridge, and it actually wasn't his boss. His girlfriend said, jump off the bridge. And he goes ahead and goes and does it because he has to say yes to everything. So it was really funny to see some of those different things that he goes through and those opportunities that he has to say yes to. I would not recommend it for anybody to just say yes to everything, but it really does have a lot of interesting points. The part about friends, which I've already talked about, the part about towards the end they tell Carl, you don't have to say yes to everything, but you don't want to live cooped up in a shell all your life. You want to be able to experience things, and sometimes that means stepping out of your comfort zone. Nothing wrong with that. I have no issues with that. As long as you keep it to that, there's no issues with trying something new and trying something you're uncomfortable with sometimes, as long as it's within regular safe bounds. So I think that was okay in this film. I really don't like some of the content that was in it. I knew there were going to be some sexual jokes going into it, but I didn't think they would be as bad as they actually are. I especially didn't think the language would be as bad as it was, because when I saw the PG-13 rating, I was like, okay, there's not going to be too much in here. Typical Jim Carrey movie, there'll be a little bit, but nothing crazy. Well, I was blown away with how much foul language is in here. So I really, like I said, I recommend 18 and above. I have to rate this film a 5 out of 10. And that's not because it wasn't a funny movie. Just the content that was in it. Some of it was not appropriate at any age. But if you were going to watch this film, I'd definitely recommend 18 and above. You might enjoy it. Let me know in the comments if you guys enjoyed it. And let me know if there's any other Jim Carrey films or other films that you guys would like me to review for you. If you enjoyed the video today, leave a like and a subscribe. It really means a lot and helps us continue to make videos for y'all. I hope that you guys have a good rest of your day. Thank you, and have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, no.
No means no.
Hey, want to rock out tonight? Oh, it's you. Let me guess. No?
Yep.
Yes?
No.